right, perfect. Thank you. And hello, Elon.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear
Good
me?
morning, Elon.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello?
Okay. So,
Hello?
Frank, how do the needs of your employees differ? Can you treat
Hello?
everybody the same, or how do you have to deal with different people?
They have different needs from them, and of course their responsibility or job description of them are different. So it's very hard to treat them equally,
Okay.
and that would be not efficient. They will not be effective to treat them equally.
Okay. Could you give us an example about a way? Could you give us an example of like a way that
Hello?
you have to treat
Hello?
them, a way that you treat them differently?
Okay. For example, if very simple
Hello?
document modification,
Wait, wait.
I have two options to pass this tag to
Hello?
two co two two
We can
co-workers,
hear you, Elon. We can hear you now.
and
Okay, thank you.
one is one is very thinkful and careful to examine every details of this document or even steps. But the other one just okay, do it randomly and uncarefully. Yeah, you can
Okay.
probably we will think okay. The first one is the best best option or best person to deal with this stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, that's what I
Oh,
mean. What I'm talking.
okay. No, that's perfect. So you would say like, okay, this person is probably not going to be the best for this job. So like, it doesn't suit his. We could say like, oh, it just doesn't suit his personality, for example. Okay. All right. Perfect. Elon, how can a manager, how can a manager make sure how can a manager make sure that they are getting the most out of all of their employees? How can a manager make sure that all of their employees are working as hard as they can?
Well, can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you, Elon.
Okay. Oh, well, I think it's a quite difficult question. I think managers should have a high emotion management to to manage the employees and make sure that the targets which he provide to them is quite quite uh, inspire them inspire them
Okay.
and also make sure it's easy or and it's not so hard for them to complete.
Okay, so you'd say like so emotional intelligence. You'd say like you need good emotional intelligence to make sure that everyone is happy with what they're doing.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, that makes sense. Okay, thank you. All right, good emotional intelligence. So, let's look at some vocabulary. Julie, please read the first vocabulary word and its definition.
Praise, a word that you say or write in order to say that you admire and approve of someone or something, especially publicly.
Okay, so Julie, when was the last time that you got praise?
Maybe last month, my manager, we have she had got a chance to China, and we met each other, and she praised me publicly
Nice.
and privately, we just talked a lot.
Oh, well, that's got to be. That sounds good, right?
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like it's
Yes.
a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
If your boss says, I want more people to be like, I want more people to be like Julie. She's fantastic." You're like, "Okay, nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, all right, perfect. Okay, Frank, criticism.
Criticism, remarks that say what you think is bad about someone or something.
Okay, so when was the last time you got criticism? When was the last time someone said, "Frank, this is not good"?
Last month. If I'm right, if I'm last month.
Last month. And do you mind
Yes.
me asking what happened?
Mm,
If you
my
don't want to
boss.
say, you don't have
Yeah,
to.
I can say it. It doesn't matter. My boss said my English is too poor
Hmm.
because I'm not his English level is.
Praise.
I could say he's just like American. He criticized me.
Like a native speaker.
Yeah, he was born in America. Oh no, he moved to America since he was 10. Okay, so he
Okay.
criticized my English is poor.
Okay.
Yeah, that really harmed me.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's never nice. It's never nice to get. We could say like it's never nice to get criticism. Like nobody likes it. No one likes to get criticism. All right, perfect. So that was the last time. Okay, and Elon, devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate, right?
Yes.
One who agrees against a cause or position, either for the sake of argument or to help determine is validate. Sorry, validated.
Okay. So this comes from. It's actually pretty simple. Um, well, I assume everyone knows what the Catholic Church is, right? Biggest church in the world, and they have a lot of saints. So when they want to make someone a saint, someone has to argue against that person. So they're like, "Hey, we think that Mother Teresa should be a saint." And somebody has the job of saying, "Nah, she was terrible. Like, no, she shouldn't be a saint. Like, that's a bad idea." So somebody has to argue against it. Okay, to just say like, I disagree. I disagree. I don't think it's a good idea. I disagree. I don't think it's a good idea. We shouldn't do that. So, hmm. So, Elon, um, have you ever played devil's advocate? Have you ever played devil's advocate and argued argued against something? Have you ever said, even if you didn't care or maybe just for fun, you were just like, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say it's a bad idea, just to see if I can, or just to make an argument.
Well, yes, I have. I think it is. I think it's an important rule in a team who
Yeah,
always provide provides the arguments to them to
yeah,
make sure that all of the situation is has been argued or has been dealt with. So I think
has been dealt with.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so you could say it helps a team to have someone try to find weak points. Right? So it helps to have someone say, this is a terrible idea, because then they have to try and justify it. All right, perfect. Julie, next. Exhaustive.
Exhaustive, extremely thorough,
Thorough.
extremely thorough and complete.
Okay, so um, is your work always exhaustive? Exhaustive means that you have done everything, like every possible situation, every possible problem, like everything has been done. Like there's no possible way. There's nothing at all that anyone that you could have missed. Okay, this is exhaustive work. So, would you say that your work is always exhaustive, or sometimes are you just like, yeah, it's good enough. It's good enough. Come on, let's hurry up.
I so all to be frank, to be honest, most of my work is to be exhaustive, I think. But
Yeah,
sometimes I have to uh, compromise. So okay, that's enough. I'm okay.
yeah.
hmm
All right. Yeah, no, that makes absolute sense. Like sometimes you're just like, yeah, it's good enough. I don't have any more time.
Yes.
Okay, so you could say, I don't always have time to be exhaustive. Okay. All right. Perfect. Thank you. All right. Frank, confirmation.
Confirmation, a statement, document, etc. This says that something is definitely true.
Okay, perfect. So like, hey, I need to get confirmation here. I need to get confirmation of this data. Like, like seriously, like I need it. Like I need this. Like I need this information. So, how does your boss? How do you get confirmation that somebody is doing their work correctly? What would you
Um,
say? How can you get confirmation that somebody is doing everything that they're meant to be doing?
um, I I would gather feedback from assignment or the test we talked
Okay.
about, and
What else? So you'll gather feedback. What else could you do? So gather feedback. Frank, what else? What apart? So I would. Okay, Frank, I'm guessing there's a problem with your microphone because you're not replying. Yeah, okay, there's a problem with his microphone. Okay, so Elon, I would like you to please read the first page for us.
Okay. Introduction. Any manager is likely to be in charge of a number of different personality types over the course of his or her career. In teams of in teams of 20 or less, a manager should get to know the individuals under his or her charge very well, knowing what works best with each individual makes a manager's job much easier. Is this lesson we will ex- examine,
Examine.
yeah,
Examine.
examine a small number of the personality types a manager might encounter.
All right, perfect. Okay, so we're going to look at the different types of people you meet in every office, anywhere in the world. Hi, Frank.
hi, I'm back.
Okay, okay, good, good. So you were saying I would gather feedback and then your signal cut off. So what else would you say?
Okay. I would gather feedback from them, and I would make sure the feedback. If the feedbacks are right, that's the confirmation.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So you would gather feedback and check. All right. Wonderful. All right. So Julie, you're going to read the first type of person. Considerate.
Considerate team members are calm, thoughtful, and optimistic. They fall into line easily and are good at tasks which take a long time and require attention to detail. They need clear instructions and thrive on praise and personal touch. They often need help. They often need help making decisions and can work more slowly than others.
Perfect. So, who do you know? Do you know anyone like this? Do you work with anyone you feel is very considerate? Like,
Yes, so, yes. In my previous company, I just worked with one of my colleagues who is very considerate.
what would
In
he or she do?
you know, she just she is one of the supervisor, and she she just she is he is responsible for the qualification, and I think he is a considered person because every details he will consider when we do the qualification. Mhm.
Okay. So
Yes.
he would okay, so they would make sure they'd be like, okay, like what can I do? What can I do to help? Like
Hmm.
what does anyone need? Like, is there anything that I can do? Is there anything I can do to help? All
Yes,
right,
you're
perfect.
right.
Okay, yeah, sounds like a very considerate person. And Julie, why do you think sometimes these people work more slowly than others?
Because uh, he should just think about every details, and he will arrange them in order in an organized sequence. So maybe sometimes they work more slowly than others, but for the long term, I think maybe start is a little slowly. It's a
Okay,
little slow, but we can get a good result at the end in the end.
perfect. Frank, have you ever failed to do your own work because you were helping somebody else?
Mm,
Has
yes,
any
yes.
so
Um, I I helped I helped the others, and they took a lot of time from me, and I postponed
okay,
part of my jobs on list, but these jobs or tasks are not the first priority in my list.
Mhm.
okay. So you were just too busy. You were like, hey, like I can help you, but yeah, maybe
Yes,
like your priority should have been maybe your own work, I guess, right? Say,
yes.
yeah, I should have been doing my own. I should have been doing my own work on that. All right, perfect. Elon, how would you describe your personality at work? Are you friendly? Are you happy? Or are you busy? How would you describe yourself at work, Elon?
Well, it's quite hard to say, but I guess maybe I'm I'm quite busy during working, and also try to complete all of the works exhausted,
Okay.
right? Yes.
Exhaustive, or
It,
exhausted,
yeah,
because they have very different
exhaustive.
meanings.
Yeah, okay.
Exhaustive.
Yes.
Exhaustive.
Okay. Yeah.
As sometimes I have to delay the deadline to complete my work, so that my work can be exhaustive.
Okay. So you say to him like, "Hey, like, I need more time.
Yeah,
I need more time here. Like, please hurry up. Please hurry up. Like, I can't do this. I
exactly.
can't do this yet. Like, give me another week or something, for example." All right. All right. Perfect. Okay. Very good. Okay, Julie, we're going to
Mm-hmm.
look at aggressive, analyst, and talkative types. So, first of all, what is it going to say? What is it going to say about someone who is described as talkative?
Talkative?
What is it? If someone says like, "Oh, they're very talkative," what is that going to mean?
I think that the types of a person would like to talk always to show, maybe to show off his or her work sometimes, or always maybe.
So we could say that there's someone who's just going to be talking, someone who's just going to be talking all the time. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Frank, what will be an aggressive? If someone is described as aggressive, what are they going to be like?
Aggressive person
Yeah.
or coworkers is like move fast and
Okay.
um can go through or overcome the difficult of their
Okay.
yeah, that's the characteristic of aggressive person.
Okay. So they will be able to. We could say like, oh, they'll fix problems. They'll fix
Yes, fixed
problems,
problem. Yes.
but maybe they're gonna, but maybe they're gonna make everyone very angry when they do it. Okay, gonna be an aggressive person. And Elon, is it possible to have an employee who is just too good at everything? Do you think this is possible, to just have an employee who's they're just too good? They're just too
Uh,
good. Or you're like, no,
no,
that's not. It's not a problem. That is not a problem that a company could have.
no, I don't think so. I think it's really hard to find someone who is quite quite good at everything. I think
Okay.
everyone has its own uh, own field own field,
Okay.
which is very good at. But maybe he's quite uh, he he has he is quite a lack of skills at other fields. So I
Okay.
think the employer or the manager has the duty uh, to to manage the targets to the right one,
Okay.
right person.
So the manager has to say. The manager has to be the one who says, like, okay, what can we do here? Like,
Yeah.
what are you good at? What are you bad at? Like, how can we figure this out? Okay. All right. Well, let's begin looking at these other types. So, Julie, sorry, it's Frank. It's Frank's turn. Sorry. So, Frank, you are going to read about the aggressive employee.
Aggressive employees are good at what they do, and they know it. They hit the ground running and can make decisions quickly under pressure, making them ideal for dealing with emergencies. Aggressive employees can be highly productive, but might need to be put in their place from time to time. On the plus side, they are usually good at dealing with direct criticism.
Perfect. So here, there's a couple of expressions. Number one, hit the ground running. All right. So, Frank, what do you think this means? Hit the ground running.
That means just go for it, move for it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So you could say like start well and continue. We could just say like, oh yeah, like I'm just gonna start very quickly, and I'm just gonna keep going. Like there's no, like I'm not gonna slow down. Like I don't need any help. Like I can do this. I can do this on my own. Like no one. I don't need any help. Okay, perfect. Okay. Elon, what do you think this means? Put someone in their place. Like, oh, I had to put him in his place.
Well, I think maybe it means that the manager try to figure out uh, what's the employee's good at, and then
That is a very good guess, but it's not quite correct.
okay,
So
maybe it means he provide I mean he gave the right targets to the right person.
No, you're okay. It's actually a very negative sentence. Like if you put someone in their place, it doesn't. It means that like you remind them that they are not as they are not as important as they think.
Oh,
Or like you tell them that they are not the boss. Like for example, imagine I'm gonna give you like an example here. Staff member A says, okay, like we should start on the new design. I'll do the drawing. I'll do the drawing, and staff person B can write. And then maybe someone else or says like, oh, I didn't know they promoted you. I didn't know they promoted you to boss. So it's saying to somebody like, hey, like that's not your job, or like don't tell me what to do. Like you're not
It's
the
7
boss.
o'clock.
Okay, so it's
okay.
actually it's a very negative. Like so.
Yeah.
So when it says here, oh, they might need to be put in their place from time to time, what exactly does that mean? If they say, oh, they might need to be put in their place, so it's saying that they're what?
Try to say
The manager.
try to some negative opening to them to make them realize what the level or the position they are.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. So they can say to him. Like, hey, like what's going on here? Like maybe they're gonna start telling people in the office what to do, and you have to say to them like, hey, this is not your job. Like, don't tell them what to do.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Julie, please read about an analyst.
Analyst Analysts like to stick to the fact that and often have little interest in small talk. They often play devil's advocate, being overly critical and can delay decisions with endless what-if questions. They are good with tough-to-solve problems requiring in-depth investigation and exhaustive thinking.
Well done. Okay, so that's the next one. So an analyst is someone who just, maybe we could even say they think too much, right? You could say like,
Mhm.
like they're always thinking, they're always planning, they're always critical. So, Julie, why is this type of person useful? Why is this type of person useful at work?
Uh, they can, they are. I think they can do. They are good at tough to solve problems, and they can just raise different opinions with. They can raise different opinions, and they they also can just find some in-depth root cause because they require in-depth investigation. So I think they sometimes they are kind of person with innovation and creative, I think.
Okay, all right. Not okay. Would you describe yourself as an analyst? Do you think
Sometimes,
this is the
yes, sometimes I am this kind of person.
okay?
Hmm.
Sometimes you're like, yeah, sometimes I
And
can be like this.
yes,
Okay. All right. All right. Well, that's good. I mean, every team needs people. I think every team needs people like that. Okay. Frank, you're going to read about the talkative.
Talkative. Talkative types show their emotions easily and tend to be guided by them. They are capable of making decisions, but sometimes sense confirmation excessively. They avoid confirmation and usually popular, making them ideal for organizing social events and patching up difference of option between other team members.
Perfect. Well done. So, this one's pretty simple here. So, they avoid confrontation and they might want everyone to say how good they are too much. So, Frank, do you have any staff? Do you have any staff who you would describe as too talkative?
Yes, I would say some of them are talkative person. They just talk too much but do less. Okay.
Okay. So, all right. So I would. Okay. So we could say I would prefer someone who spoke who spoke less and worked more.
Okay. Spoke less and worked more.
Okay. So, Elon, in your opinion, which of those workers is most useful?
Um,
Which would you, for example, which would you
uh,
prefer to work with?
maybe I prefer an sorry analyst, right?
Okay. Okay, you prefer an analyst. Why?
I think analysts is are are um, more effective
Okay.
to solve problems, and also it's easy to deal with. I think it will finish work exhaustive.
Yeah, exhaustive. Okay, so you would say like, "Hey, we can do this."
Yeah.
Like, everyone would just be very focused on work. No one would be talking. Like, no one would be talking. Everyone would just be like super focused on their jobs. Okay. All right. Wonderful. Okay. Now we're going to come back to this question in the end. So, Frank, I'd like you to read this last question for us, please. So it's more of a quote. So I'd like you to read this quote.
Wrap up. The most important kind of freedom is to be what you really are. You trade in your reality for a role. You trade in your sense for an act. You give up your ability to feel, and in exchange, put on a mask.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So this one works. This one works pretty well. Okay. So we could say, well, Julie, what do you think this means? Why do you think? What do you think this quote means? The most important type of freedom is to be who you really are. You give up all of these, what should we say? Like, you give up all of these feelings in exchange for a mask. What do you think this means?
You treating your way to treat your sense for acts, you pray about it to be and you change. In fact, I'm not very clear about this sentence mean, but I think I know the first sentence. I think we should be we should be just we should be what we really are. I think that's I know the sentence, but from the no, I don't know the other sentence. I don't understand.
Okay, so
Mhm.
it's saying, I guess the idea is that it's saying, like, when we get a job,
Yes.
when we get a job, we we have to act in an unnatural way. So so maybe you would be happier. Do you think you would be happier at work if you could just go and be like, you know what, I'm going to go to work and I like to talk. I like to talk a lot and I'm going to talk here. Do you think that would actually like make people happier if they could just be the way they are?
No. If we have some rules in our work, because we have to work with other people, we have to consider other people's feeling. So sometimes we cannot do whatever we want.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. Perfect. Now, another type of question. So, Frank, here we have our three types of jobs. So we have aggressive, analyst, and talkative. Frank, which of those would be the best at talking to customers?
Mm, uh, yeah, the best type of people that deal with customers are aggressive people, I believe.
Aggressive.
Yes,
Okay. What?
because
Okay.
if these people want to make a deal or sells our company products, this kind of person is the best choice because they can
Okay.
overcome
They're
the
gonna be like.
difficulties. Yes, just to go
They're gonna
for
be
it
like very
and
aggressive.
yes, more aggressive and talk it down, right?
Okay.
Not down the topic. Yeah.
Elon, what type of jobs, what type of position would a talkative, what type of position would a talkative person be best at?
Teacher.
Well, I think um, maybe the rules, such as technical support,
Okay.
all these sellers,
Okay. So salespeople or
salespeople. Yeah,
technical support. All
Mm-hmm.
right.
yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Well, now I want to check with you guys because we're at the end, and I want to check. Does anyone have any questions, any doubts,